What's up, everybody? All right, you guys. So as you know, we have been working on the case of Naziah Harris. Now, a lot of people feel like Jarvis is not the only person that should be facing charges. And the reason being is because it feels like a lot of people knew more, but they're trying to make it seem like they knew nothing. So the first thing we're going to point out is Naziah was last seen on January 9th. We saw the surveillance of her getting off the bus and walking. Listen to what her grandmother had to say.
For her to be late, she has never been late coming home. She's always got permission to do things.
Annette Harris is 13-year-old Naziah Harris's grandmother and legal guardian.
When was the last time that you heard from your granddaughter?
When I dropped her off at school, which was on January the 9th.
Naziah is an 8th grader at Clark Elementary School in Detroit, described as being incredibly sweet and a rule follower.
So she made it a point to say that Naziah always asks her for permission. She also described Naziah as a rule follower. So if you're saying that you noticed immediately that Naziah did not get off that bus
and come home from school on January 9th, she knew immediately something was wrong.
But Annette did not report her missing till that next day. Now listen to what one of the school officers had to say.
After reading the report. After the report, I canvassed the area looking for this young lady, although she was gone for at least 24 hours because she was missing the day before. And then from that point, we didn't find anything. So I followed the bus number that she was on. I got the video, and it showed where she got off the bus at 3 Mile.
Said Cornwell and 3 Mile?
Cornwell, 3 Mile.
So you have a child who sticks to routine, she follows your rules, she doesn't do anything without asking you, and she does not come home from school, but you don't go to the school to that next day and tell them that she's missing. So Naziah got off the bus at Cornwall and 3 Mile. This has been proven. There is surveillance showing her getting off that bus. And this is what the grandmother said another child told her.
The bus with her schoolmate and walked up to the corner of Warren and 3 Mile Drive. And one of the school kids said that she turned right instead of turning.
So you can see where it says Cornwall and 3 Mile Drive right here. Now Naziah would have went up and took East Warren going towards AutoZone. Now the reason why we know she went up and went right is because the grandmother said that that child also said that. And like I said before, AutoZone is also to the right. Now I have to point out the fact that Jarvis and King were at AutoZone. They went to get parts, and King is saying that they were on their way back to the shop, but they end up turning around because they forgot something. Now, is it odd that Naziah went straight to that corner, hit that right, knowing it was going towards AutoZone? So she had to have known that she was meeting Jarvis in that area. So another thing I want to point out is, look at the bottom. You see Cornwall and you see 3 Mile. Now, if Naziah had went left, she would have went straight to Bedford and went home. But instead, Naziah went straight down 3 Mile Drive and hit a right going on Warren Avenue. But I'm just trying to point out to you guys how close Jarvis was when he picked her up. Now, y'all, the reason why I'm pointing all of this out is because I feel like if you knew for a fact that your granddaughter always followed routine, and you're saying that you figured out immediately that she did not get off that bus, not only did she have to walk a good ways to Harper just to meet Jarvis, she then got into his vehicle and went all the way back to his shop. Now, these are hours and hours going by of nobody saying, hey, let's go out there and look for Naziah. It literally makes no sense. If you have a 13-year-old child, because I have one, if my child gets off the bus and he's not home immediately, I'm calling his phone or I'm texting him saying, hey, where are you? Y'all, they had to have known that something was going on. It's no way they didn't know. I just find it extremely odd for you to report her missing that next day. It just, y'all, it don't sit right with me. Now, another thing I want to point out is the messages that Shannon found in that tablet. Now, as we know, Naziah was missing. The police, they wanted the tablet in order to go through it. So Shannon plugged the tablet up, and when she plugged the tablet up, she went through Naziah's Instagram. So after going through that Instagram, she found messages between Jarvis and Naziah.
When I see no messages, I called him and Jarvis Butts. Called him while he was at work, asked him, what is these messages I seen between you and my niece? And he said, what messages?
So Shannon claims that the messages were not bad in nature, and she claims that she couldn't see the pictures that were actually sent, which I found hard to believe because every message that Naziah and Jarvis sent, all of them was bad in nature. And for you to immediately call him and be like, hey, what is this? What's going on? The messages had to have said something. Now, this is what bothers me. Naziah had been missing since January 9th. King is saying that they picked Naziah up. Jarvis' sister is saying that Naziah was at the shop. Shannon is saying that she saw messages. Nobody thought for 1 second that Jarvis was the one responsible. Nobody thought for 1 second to go to the police anonymously and say, hey, I don't know if this is that 13-year-old that's missing, but I saw this person at the shop. Even down to Shannon, she knew Jarvis's history. Listen to what Shannon said in the interview.
Was 19. He did tell me his background. He did tell me his background. He gave me the decision. If I wanted to pursue a relationship.
So given that his background was child, right, and you still made the decision to talk to him?
One, I was 19, and two, if society can give you a second chance, why can't someone else?
So y'all, it bothers me when I hear the theory going around that Shannon was also a victim. She literally said, I was 19 when I met him. He told me his background. He told me what he was convicted of. He told me he was on the offenders list. And he gave me the opportunity to not mess with him. But instead, I chose to mess with him because if the state can give you a second chance, why can't I? Now, y'all, when he went to jail for Naziah's case, he was considered a 4th-time habitual offender. Meaning before Naziah, he had been caught doing this 3 times already. So the fact that Annette is saying, oh, I had no idea. The fact that Shannon is saying, oh, I had no idea. He's never been inside of my home. When he literally told police the last time he saw Naziah was in December when she was at the home getting her hair braided. So Annette saying that he never comes in her home is a bold-faced lie. Now, another thing I have to point out is when Naziah first went missing, they searched this pond. Now, I want to show you how close this pond is to Shannon's old address. It is literally only 4 minutes away. What drove police to that pond? And does that have anything to do with where Shannon used to live? Now, y'all, as we know, the trial will be coming up in March, I think. And I honestly feel like more people need to be charged. If they can't be charged with her unaliving, which I think they should, at least charge them with negligence. The case literally makes no sense. Everybody on social media is putting this together. And you mean to tell me the aunt and the grandma didn't see this and we all see this from the outside looking in? Now, y'all, comment below and let me know your thoughts on this case. I will be keeping you guys updated.